Well, hey there, idiots. Welcome back to Observe. A documentary was recently released called Framing Britney Spears, and needless to say, it sparked a lot of buzz on the internet. Now, I intentionally did not watch that documentary, but I have heard that it is shaking some things up, specifically centered around the conservatorship that Britney has been in for some years. Now, I decided not to watch this documentary because I wanted to be able to maintain as unswayed an opinion of her body language as I possibly can. In today's video, I'm going to be analyzing the difference of her body language several months ago as to her body language now, to see if there are any differences that I can tell. Have there been improvements, or have things gotten worse for Britney? Now, we'll be unpacking all of this in just a moment, but before we do that, I want to be able to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Extra Wallets. Now, for those of you who have been on the channel for a hot minute, you know that Extra has been a long-time supporter of the channel, and I of them as well. If you're new here and you don't know what Extra is, they are one of the leading manufacturers for simplistic and high-quality smart everyday items, specifically centered around largely their wallets. However, they also have phone cases, laptop sleeves, key trackers, and more. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite wallets, the Parliament wallet. This wallet is made out of premium materials that are designed to bring you a high quality product that will last. However, that's not where it stops. It also has the ability to have a tracking card inserted that will allow you to track it whenever, wherever. Along with that, it is designed to help prevent your identity from getting stolen. One of my favorite features of the wallet is the ability to hit this small button down here and to eject all of your cards as you need. And I use a wallet just like this every single day. So if you would like to be able to get a wallet like this, perhaps for a loved one or yourself, please follow the link in the description below. There is currently a Valentine's Day sale going on where you can get up to 20% off any item on Extra by using that link in the description below. The sale ends on February 14th, so go ahead and capitalize as early as you can to be able to receive your own discount on a very high quality premium smart wallet. So thank you again to Extra for sponsoring this video, but without further ado, let's look at the actual content itself. Now, if you haven't seen them already, I have done 2 other videos on Britney Spears' nonverbal communication already. I'm assuming that you have watched those if you're watching this video. If you haven't seen those videos, go and watch them now and return back here because I'm going to be counting on you having seen those. In this video today, I'm going to be looking at some of Britney's most recent Instagram posts as opposed to the posts that I looked at earlier to see if there is any difference in her nonverbal communication. But I've talked enough about watching it. Let's go ahead and watch. Alright, so from this little blip here, this is a common video style from Britney Spears these days. She likes to model an outfit or a look for Instagram, but that's not what we're paying attention to today. What I want to be able to focus largely on is her face, because her face is telling, and it's good. For those of you who are nervous about this, something has changed, and it does seem to be for the better, and I'm sure it has something to do with the conservatorship being removed from her father's care. And in regards to her nonverbal communication changing, I want you to focus on her eyes. Now, in earlier videos, a lot of you noticed that something seemed off about how Britney appeared, and that is due largely to the action and lack thereof in her eyes. So during these clips, you can see that her eyelids themselves are not drawn back intensely. They are more relaxed and the muscles around her eyes are not straining. This is good to be able to see that a person is not under intense stress. If intense stress or emotion is appearing in a person's life, it will show largely in their face, especially in their eyes. So as I watch this, I can see that there is a definite and obvious difference from Britney now to Britney then. Something has changed and it has gotten better. I'm going to watch back towards where we start to see Britney in a less healthy state of mind.
The moment we've all been waiting for last week. The Super Bowl! I was so excited, but honestly, I was rooting for Kansas City, but I was also rooting for the other team, so it was a little confusing for me. I love sharing.
So this part's interesting, because she still has the interesting choice in makeup for her eyes, but once again, focusing on her eyes, how they rest, how they move, along with the rest of her face, she is showing more healthy nonverbal communication than she was several months ago when I did the earlier videos. Her eyelids are still more relaxed, they're more soft, and the way that her gaze is falling is not frantic or nervous. It seems more relaxed and it appears more relaxed, and that is due largely to what I believe to be a healthier mental state than what she had earlier in 2020.
Where's everybody?
So that one's a very short little blip, right? Not much there. There's not even much body language to be able to talk about, but this is just a side of Britney that a lot of fans are happy to see. It's not eerie. It's not strange. It doesn't seem forced. It just seems like Britney having some fun. And this is her showing a little bit of character along with her posts on Instagram. Her title for this specific post is what everybody's feeling more or less during COVID. And it's good to be able to see her show a little bit more personality without it coming across as eerily forced.
Oh God, damn, you made me feel sweet. And if I'm losing my mind, would you lose yours with me? You made me wanna melt like butter in the pan.
Alright, so during this little part here, there's short segments, as you can see, of Britney Spears. And still, her eyes are maintaining a relaxed position. They're not frantic, they're not nervous, they're not feeling an intense emotion. She's expressing a specific expression that has nothing to do with emotion. It has to do with the fact that she's dancing, but it is all centered around this idea that Britney is now more relaxed than she was before. I'm not sure as to why, because I really did not want to sway my point of view on her body language, but I'm seeing it very clearly that the body language now, that Britney is displaying now, is far more healthy. Something has taken a turn for the better in her life, and it's reflecting in her mental health, which is showing via her body language.
Knowing I'm your man, so let's spend some time wasting it away.
So this is a little earlier on. She's starting to show a little bit more of that strain and stress, specifically in the setting around her eyes. While they're still more relaxed than the early videos, which we will get to in a second, they are still showing some of that pull. And if you want to be able to see this more clearly and understand why it feels off, it is largely due to the intensity of her gaze, which is decided by the positioning of her eyelids. Now, her upper eyelids are more soft in this one than in other versions, but they are beginning to become less so as we go further and further back in Britney's timeline. Let's watch the next several videos and see how this really fleshes out, and then we'll compare now to then and see how this all comes together in the end to get an idea as to where Britney's health is now.
Your love is like music. You went and changed the game. We're breaking all the rules. Our star signs.
So now we're starting to get into the eerie side of Britney's body language, where her eyes stay fairly lifeless. They stay strained. They stay tense. And even when she tries to flash a smile, they don't reach her eyes. And a lot of you brought up, well, this could be because of perhaps Botox. And while yes, Britney has had Botox, perhaps even recently, this patterning isn't common in Botox because it's still expressing. It's still emoting. They're not just seeming to be hollow. They seem to have an edge of, be it fear or worry about them as well. That's coming out in this stress, strained expression in her eyes.
Hi, so I know that there have been a lot of comments and a lot of people saying a lot of different things about me, but I just want to let you guys know that I am fine. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life, and I'm sending all of you guys a lot of prayers, wishes, and a lot of love.
So I've already analyzed this entire clip, and there's a lot that's packed into this. So seriously, if you haven't watched the other videos, go and watch them, but I want to be able to point this part out as an area where Britney really was trying to sell the idea of her being okay and everything being fine, but her body language showing quite a different picture. So go watch that video if you would like to be able to see that segment unpacked way more thoroughly. And here we go a little further back. You can see her eyes are even more strained than they were before. There's less emotion in them. And the only thing that we can really see on her expression in this, even despite the forced smile, is stress, is possible fear and stress. And this expression only gets worse as we go further back in time. The next clip is as far back that I'm going to go, and you can really see quite clearly the negative emotions that are being felt by Britney during this time that she's trying so desperately to cover up.
I'm gonna miss you, wait to see you go. Wish time could just go slow.
And there we have just a small blip of Britney in a very unhealthy state of mind. You can tell by the setting of her eyes that there is no joy behind the smile that she has, that there is fear and there is stress. Those are all apparent almost exclusively by the action and lack thereof around her eyes, the tenseness, the strain of the muscles, and how no other emotion besides fear and stress enters into her eyes. Now, as we continue to fast back forward up to today, if you look at her eyes here, where I have put them up to where you can see the difference between the movement and the muscle tension of her eyes now as opposed to then. And for those of you who are watching and you're concerned for Britney, according to her nonverbal communication, her mental health seems to be improving. Either that, or she's getting better at hiding it. And that isn't likely. When you're under a specific amount of stress, you don't get better at hiding the stress, it gets harder to hide. So to see this sort of change in Britney's nonverbal communication and even her baseline is a positive thing to be able to see. A lot of terrible stuff has happened in Britney's past, and she undergoes a lot more stress than any of us, including the people who are a part of the Free Britney movement, have been able to take in. So non-verbally, it's good to see that she's healing. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree though. Is there something that I missed? If you've watched the documentary and you're like, oh, well, this is obviously what's going on, let me know in the comments below. I'm always interested to hear. I will be going and watching the documentary myself now that I have recorded this. I like to be able to see if what I said is accurate. I feel about 95% certain that it is. So, like I said, let me know in the comments below if you have a different opinion or the same opinion. If you would like to be able to have me look at any different true crime cases, YouTube dramas, so on and so forth, also leave a comment about those and I might be able to get around to just that. I want to go ahead and give another shout out to today's sponsor, Exter. Like I said, if you're watching this and you would like to be able to get a high quality, reliable, smart device for a loved one or yourself, go ahead and follow the link in the description below to hopefully get 20% off of whatever item you decide to pick out. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you'd like to see more, ding the bell because that's what everybody tells YouTubers to say, and keep your eye out for Jodi Arias. She is on the way. There's just a little bit of footage that I have to comb through before I can get her analysis out to you. So if you would like to be able to see that and you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit subscribe. But without further ado, that's all that I've got for the day. My name is Logan and you have been oh so awesome as you always are. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.